So we move ourselves then to Good Friday. Fun trivia question. What's different about Good Friday than any other day of the Catholic year?
The Eucharist isn't in the tabernacle?
No consecration.
Yeah, exactly. So the Eucharist isn't there. We got no consecration. It's the one day of year we don't celebrate Mass. We have a big fancy ceremony that we do, but it's not Mass because Jesus is dead. Because we're celebrating something very different than what we celebrated the night before. And it's just this profound difference that we're focusing in on. And it's the cross that we're focusing in on, and everything that goes with that part of the story. So we talked about it a little bit before. You brought it up. We have this beautiful moment in the midst of Good Friday in which we're invited to come and reverence in some way, oftentimes kiss the cross, the wood of the cross. Anyone want to talk about what that's like?
I don't know. Is it a new tradition? I don't recall myself experiencing that when I was growing up for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it's pre-Vatican II. I'm not that old, but now it's like it's what I look forward to. You know, I want to be there. You know, and I guess pay my respects. You know, and just like everybody else, and it's just powerful because there's so many people with you. You're all doing, and it just speaks to, again, the power of the faith. You know, that we're all there. You know, together, experiencing that, and sharing that moment. So that to me is really, that's a big deal.
I just think it's some of the highest respect that you could give to the Lord, you know? To say that, again, thank you, look what He did for us. I think it's truly respectful.
In some ways, it kind of brings up this extreme paradox that we have in our faith, but in some ways, especially in our Catholic tradition, the paradox of the cross, and how just awful this whole story is. And yet, as you talked about, the beauty that we find as that story then continues on Easter, what He was able to do through that awful thing in that situation. And we kind of, I think, especially for that one day, we lean into that really hard. And there's something to be said about that. Especially in our worlds today where too often we don't want to touch those things. We don't want to think about or talk about death or difficult stuff. We want it kind of fast. We want it easy. We want to, And so as a Christian people, as a Catholic people, to say, no, we're going to stop today. We're going to think about this. It means a lot. And I think the people that come and do it, like you were saying, it can mean a lot to all be there, to all be doing that together.
Yeah, I think that time last year, so I've been to a Good Friday service, but at that time I'd only been looking to the Catholic Church for like 2 weeks. And so super new, I had no idea what was going on, but I'm used to celebrating Mass at the cathedral, like these enormous, stained glass windows and flowers everywhere. So kind of, walking in, just kind of ready, and you walk in, and everything, all the flowers are gone. It's nighttime, so there's no light coming through, right? And so all the things that I was used to, it felt like a funeral, truly. Everything was dark. No one was talking. I was almost embarrassed at my feet walking or making noise. I was like, I gotta hurry up and get time, And it was, I've experienced almost a full year in the Catholic Church of going to, celebrating this Mass and that Mass, but that sticks out. It's probably one of my favorite services, honestly. And I think it was because it was so, I just appreciate the lengths that the Church goes to remind you of what this day means. And it's reflected in the liturgy, of course, but also in just the atmosphere and the other people in the pews. They help me to believe, you know what I mean? Oh my gosh, so-and-so who, is usually talking to so-and-so at this time when we're getting ready for Mass is not talking, you know what I mean? So that's something I really appreciated and that stood out kind of immediately, is that okay, this is in the same way like purple vestments, okay, this is different purple, walking into Mass, that Good Friday Mass was okay, this is different, and like yeah, and it you know, elicited like sorrow, like oh my gosh, like Jesus, you know, did die, and right, and so it just helped me to enter in. But yeah, so I can relate that, like it truly does feel like the world stops, but I'm so grateful to be reminded of that this is a part of the Passion, a crucial part. So, yeah.
I think also the Good Friday service, we talk about symbolism in the church, the adoration of the cross. You know, Christ is no longer in that particular focus, but the cross is there. And so we as human beings come up and we kiss the cross as symbolic of our love and respect for Christ and what he has done for us.